Kunja Bihari. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravajakacharya Stota Dusata Shri Shrimad Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Srila Prabhupada Ki Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravajakacharya Stota Dusata Shri Shrimad Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Ki Ananta Gauri Vaishnavrinda Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Prem Sikaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudeva Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shyamakunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhan Ki Vrindavan Dham Ki Navadip Mayapur Dham Ki Ganga Jamunamaya Ki Tulasi Devi Maharani Ki Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Harinam Sankirtan Ki Brihat Madanga Ki Holy Appearance Day of Srimati Radharani Ki Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bo. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru Garanga. Oh. Okay. So, while I'm waiting for Archita to put the words to a song about Radharani, composed by Rupa Goswami on the screen there, I'll read something that a devotee asked Prabhupada here in Los Angeles. I think it was 1968. That loud enough? Can everybody hear me okay? Loud enough? Okay. So this devotee asked Prabhupada, what is the proper relationship of the devotee to Radhika? Prabhupada. Radharani is Daivi Maya. Just like we are in our material condition, we are under the material energy. Similarly, in our liberated state, we have to become under the spiritual energy. That spiritual energy is Radharani. We are acting at present under the material energy because our body is made of material energy. So when you are liberated, you will develop your body of spiritual energy. That spiritual energy is Radharani. So you have to become under the control of some energy. You are also energy. You are marginal energy. Marginal energy means you may be under the control of the spiritual energy or you may be under the control of the material energy, your marginal position. But when you're under the control of the material energy, that is your precarious condition, struggle for existence. And when you're under the spiritual energy, that is your life of freedom. Radharani is spiritual energy. And Durga or Kali is material energy. So those who are materialists, they worship Durga, Kali, the material, different forms of material energy. There is a word in Sanskrit, Shakti, anyway, it goes on a little bit. Getting back to Radharani, I'm going to skip a little part here. The Krishna consciousness practice means you have to transfer yourself from this material energy, from under the control of the material energy to under the control of the spiritual energy. That's all. That spiritual energy is Radharani. You have to come under that control. Let's see. That I'll give you one concrete example. Just like a person is always under the control of government as citizen. When he is outlaw, he is under the criminal law, and who is law-abiding, he is under civil law. He cannot say that I will not remain within the law of the government. He has to. That is his position. Artificially, he may deny, but he will be forced. Similarly, our position is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, and as part and parcel, we have to render service. We voluntarily render service out of love, that is spiritual energy, or we are forced to render service under pressure, that is material energy. So, that was Prabhupada's answer to that question. So we'll sing this song. And then I'll read the Prabhupada's purport to the song, which is really ecstatic. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Dayate. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Jayate. Gokula Tarani Mandala Mahite. Gokula Tarani Mandala Mahite. Damadara Rati Bardana Beshe Harine Skuta Brenda Vipineshe. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Jayate. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Jayate. Vrishabhanu Dadi Navashashi Leke Lalita Shaki Guna Ramita Vishake. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Jayate. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Jayate. Karunam Kurumai Karuna Badite Sanaka Sanatana Varnita Charite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Jayate. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Jayate. Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite. Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite. Blissful song. So this was Srila Prabhupada's purport to that song. He said, this song was sung by Rupa Goswami. He is the real person, actual person, to understand Radha and Krishna. So he says, all glories to Radharani, Radhe, Jaya Jaya Madhava Jayate. She's so dear to Krishna. Krishna, everyone is trying to love Krishna, but Krishna is trying to love somebody. Now, how great she is. Just try to understand. Everyone, the whole world, the whole universe, all living entities, they are trying to love Krishna, Krishna Prem. Lord Chaitanya describes Prema Pumarta Mahan, and Rupa Goswami described that you are distributing Krishna Prem, so Krishna Prem is so valuable, but Krishna is after Radharani. Just see how Radharani is great. Just try to understand the greatness of Radharani. Therefore, she is so great, and we have to offer our respect. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Jayate. How she is? Gokula Tarini Mandala Mahite. Taruni means young girls. You'll see the pictures. They are all young girls. But of all the young girls, she is the most beautiful. She is enchanting to the young girls also. She is so beautiful. Gokula Tarini Mandala Mahite. Damodara Rati Vardhana Veshe. And she always dresses herself so nicely that Damodar, Krishna, becomes attracted by her beauty. Hari Niskuta Brinda Vipineshe. And she is the only lovable object of Krishna. And she is the queen of Vrindavan. You'll find in Vrindavan, if you go to Vrindavan, everyone is worshipping Radharani. Rani means queen. They're always speaking, Jai Radhe, Radharani. All the devotees in Vrindavan, they are worshipper of Radharani. Hari Niskuta Brinda Vipineshe. Vrishabhanu Dadi Navashashi Leke. And she appeared as the daughter of King Vrishabhanu. And her companions, Lalita and Vishaka, and the devotees. So on behalf of the pure devotees of Krishna, Rupa Goswami is praying, Karunam Kudumai Karuna Bharite. Oh, my worshipable Radharani, you are full of mercy. So I am begging of your mercy because you are so merciful. Very easily you offer. Bestow your mercy. So I'm begging your mercy. Karunam Kudumai Karuna Bharite Sanaka Sanatana Varnita Charite. Now somebody may say, oh, you are so great, learned scholar, you are so great, saintly person, and you are begging mercy from an ordinary girl? How is that? Therefore, Rupa Goswami says, oh, this is not ordinary girl. Sanaka Sanatana Varnita Charite. This girl's description is possible to be made by great saintly persons like Sanatana. She is not ordinary. Jai. So that's a very beautiful song. That's in the songbook. So as Prabhupada starts off by saying here, this is a song sung by Rupa Goswami. He's the real person, the actual person, to understand Radha and Krishna. So a couple points on that. One is, Prabhupada elsewhere, in some lectures, I went through the database, and I read the lectures that Prabhupada gave on Radhastami, and then I did a search on Radhastami through all Radharani through all the lectures. So I've got a lot of nice information here. So one point Prabhupada makes is that this Radha and Krishna worship can only be understood properly by somebody in the liberated stage. So that's one qualification of Rupa Goswami, that not just Rupa Goswami, but a lot of all the rest of the Goswamis, a lot of the associates of Lord Chaitanya, they were Nityasiddha devotees. They're in the Gaura Ganadesha Dipika, it's described that Rupa Goswami is Rupa Manjari, Sanatana Goswami is, I think it's Labanga Manjari, etc., etc. So they were actually qualified to understand Radharani and the relationship between Radha and Krishna properly. And another thing is that Rupa Goswami, even on the external platform, he had he actually had the association of Radharani at one time. There's this very nice story which Prabhupada tells. See if I could find it for you real quick. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so this is a story that Prabhupada tells in a few lectures about when Rupa Goswami got the association of Srimati Radharani. It says he was living in the forest of Vrindavan. Okay, so Sanatana Goswami was his elder brother. Actually, I'll just tell it because I know the story pretty well. So Rupa Goswami was living in the forest. It was at that point it was just basically him and Sanatana Goswami in Vrindavan. It was in the early days, so to speak. So Rupa Goswami was thinking, boy, I'd really like to, but they weren't living in the same exact spot. But so Rupa Goswami was thinking, I'd really like to, cook a nice lunch for my brother, Sanatana Goswami. Sanatana Goswami was his older brother, and, he considered him like his guru, in a sense, although they were both disciples of Lord Chaitanya. But, so he was thinking like that. But, he's in the middle of the forest, so what do you do? When you could he was desiring, but there was no way, no means. I mean, there wasn't Loy Bazaar at that time. There was just fields. So anyway, so he was thinking like that. And then after some time, this young girl appears on the scene, and she explains that, oh, we had some festival, It's actually, you can't, if you ever get a chance to hear Prabhupada tell this story, take advantage of it, because the way Prabhupada tells it is so charming. But, so she shows up and he goes, no, but who are you, And she goes, oh, I'm from the village, my mother, we had some festival. And he says, no, but I am not, I don't know you. I have not seen you before, because he knew the. So she goes, yeah. Anyway, so somehow she got him to just accept that she was just a girl from the village, and that they had all these ingredients left over from some festival. So he took the ingredients, and he was, he's very happy, and he noticed, wow, this is a very nice young girl, very beautiful young girl. So he took the ingredients, he was very happy, and he said, okay, wonderful, now I can prepare this feast for my brother, Sanatan Goswami. And so he did, and he invited him, and he came, and he's serving him the feast, and he's eating, oh, this is very nice prasadam thing. Where did you get the ingredients? And so he starts to tell him, he explained, well, this very nice young girl came, very beautiful young girl, she came with these ingredients, and Sanatan Goswami was immediately kind of suspicious. He said, so what did she look like? So he started describing what she looked like. Oh, she's very beautiful, very thick, black, shiny hair, and he started describing different things about her. And then he said, oh, you've made a great mistake. So that was Radharani. You've taken service from Radharani. Our whole thing is we want to serve Radha and Krishna. And you've taken service from Radharani, so you've made a great blunder like that. So in other words, he confirmed that was, Radharani had come to serve Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami in that way. There's another story where another one of the Goswamis also had an experience with Radharani. Well, probably all the Goswamis internally would have experiences with Radharani, but at least there's some stories that we're familiar with, that that would come to that even manifested on the external plane, so to speak. Raghunath Das Goswami, he was reading a poem or a song, something that Rupa Goswami wrote glorifying Radharani, and in one place in his writing he compared Radharani's hair to the hood of a black snake, to a snake. And so Raghunath Das Goswami was reading that, and he was thinking, is this proper? I don't know if he was thinking, is it accurate, or is it inappropriate, or is it appropriate? The details aren't there in the version of the story I wrote, but he was just wondering, is this proper? Is this correct? So anyway, so some time passed, and he was in I think he was in Seva Kunj. I can't remember exactly where he was, but he was in some kind of spiritual place. I think it was Seva Kunj. And he saw by one Kadamba tree, there was a very beautiful girl on a swing. And she was, she had a lot of friends around her. And they were swinging her on the swing. And he looked, and from the angle he was at, he could see, oh yeah, she was a very beautiful girl. And she had very, thick, black, oily, shiny hair, and it was kind of braided and going down her back, Well, he didn't know that. From where he was standing, he could just make out the girl, the form, and something very black and shiny on her back. And so he was looking, and he got a little closer, and then he decided, no, that's a black snake climbing up the back of this girl. So I have to, so he got closer, and he said, hey girl, so he called out, he said, be careful, and there's a snake on your back, like that. So as soon as he did that, all the girlfriends, they disappeared. They were Shakis, they kind of also disappeared, and then Radharani did too. But then he could realize, he realized just right after that happened that, oh, that was Radharani actually, and directly showing him that what Rupa Goswami had written was correct. It was correct. That he actually saw for himself that Radharani's hair was like that. It's like because he got experienced that, got fooled like that. Then there's another nice pastime with one of the Goswamis, well, not one of the 6 Goswamis, but one of the next generation Goswamis, Shamananda Goswami. He was Dukhi Krishnadas, and he wanted to do service in Seva Kunj. His spiritual master was Hridaya Chaitanya, and he put him under the charge of Jiva Goswami in Vrindavan. So he developed this desire to do service in Seva Kunj, so he was allowed to go there and in the late hours, of the evening, and he was cleaning. So one evening he found a Nupura, an ankle bracelet, and he felt there's something unusual about this ankle bracelet. But anyway, so he just was doing his service, and then maybe the next night, a very beautiful girl approached him and said, "Oh, did you find anything? Any bracelet, any jewel?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "Oh, that." He said, "I did," and she started to describe it a little bit, and no, he told her right off. "I found this," and she said, "Oh yeah, that belongs to my. Is it yours?" He said, "No, it belongs to my. My friend. She's from a very aristocratic family. She can't come out like that in there." Dukhi Krishna was kind of reluctant to give it to her because he didn't know. He thought, well, she could be telling the truth. Maybe she said maybe she could come here and anyway. So it was Lalita Shaki actually, but he didn't know that. And then the next day or shortly thereafter, she came back with Radharani, and Radharani was very pleased. He could understand. She revealed her. She allowed him to understand what was going on. That he was Radharani, his Lalita Shaki, and she expressed to him that she was very pleased with his service that he was doing in the Seva Kunj there, and so she took the Nupura, the ankle bracelet, and she touched it in the sand, and she touched it to his forehead, and she actually gave him a tilak mark. It became a tilak mark on his forehead, and it wouldn't wash off. It wouldn't wash off. And also, she gave him a name. She said, "Because my name is Shama, and because you have given me pleasure, Ananda, so your name is now Shamananda." So he received this name from Radharani and a tilak mark. And so when he got back, his spiritual master heard about this, Hridaya Chaitanya. He was very disturbed, and but anyway, I can't remember the actual detail. But then somehow or another, it became revealed to his spiritual master, Hridaya Chaitanya, as well, that he hadn't, impertinently surpassed his guru, but that really and truly was awarded to him. That name was given to him by Radharani, and that tilak mark was given to him by Radharani. And when he understood that, of course, he was very pleased. He was very happy. And then there's one incident with Srinivasacharya. Srinivasacharya was he was meditating, and these are all these devotees like Nitya Siddha devotees. So they're meditating in their Siddha Deha. So he was meditating, and he became he was meditating, and he went very deep into the meditation, to the point where he wasn't coming out. And a day passed, and he was still in this meditation. He used to do this regularly, but on this particular occasion, he was meditating, and for a much longer period of time. And a day passed, and he didn't come out. And another day passed, and he wouldn't come out. And everybody was getting really worried. They thought, "Oh my God, is he, gone into samadhi? Is this it? Is he leaving the earthly pastimes?" And then there was this one, I think it was a disciple of his, Ramachandra Kaviraj. He was a disciple. He was very close disciple, very intimate disciple. So they figured he's the only one who could help us in this situation. So they didn't know where he was at first, but then somehow or another he just appeared on the scene at the beginning of the third day, I think it was, very, after some reasonable time. And so he sat down next to him, and he also went into meditation, right? And then he was able to understand that what happened was that in his meditation, Srinivasacharya, he became aware of this pastime where Radharani had taken a bath in the Yamuna, and she had lost an earring. An earring fell off, and all the associates were trying to find this earring. And he, Srinivasacharya, in his, I think his Mani Manjari is his eternal, his name is Anityasiddha. So he was also trying to help him. They were all swimming and going underwater and trying to find this earring. And Ramachandra Kaviraj, he could understand what was going on, and he could understand that until they found that earring, nobody was coming back. Nobody was going to stop looking. So anyway, he really prayed for the mercy, and he found the earring. He found the earring under a lotus flower, kind of under the water there, and he gave that. In case you never heard this before, so I'm just repeating what I read in this book. He gave the earring to his guru, Srinivasacharya, who then gave it to Gopal Bhatta Goswami, who was also there in his eternal spiritual form. He was part of that pastime. And then Gopal Bhatta Goswami gave it to Lalita Shakti, who then returned it to Radharani. So at least the author of the book there, he makes the point that we should note how, Ramachandra Kaviraj didn't give it directly to Radharani. He observed that etiquette of, Maryada Vyatikrama, not impertinently or surpassing one's superior. He gave it to his guru, who gave it to his guru, gave it to his guru, and then it was returned to Radharani. So she was very pleased. Oh yeah, and then after that happened, Radharani was very pleased. So then she came and she gave, not to Ramachandra, but to Srinivasacharya, she gave him some betel nut that she had already chewed on, tambula. It's called, I think. It's the Sanskrit word. So, it had like a special, obviously, quality to it, a fragrance and everything. So he took that in the internal meditation, and he wrapped it in his uttariya, his top cloth, like that. But then he came out of the meditation, and he came back to the external consciousness, and both him and Ramachandra Kaviraj came out pretty much at the same time, just like. And all the devotees were very happy because, they were concerned that he's still alive, but they were very much alive. And then he became aware of the tambula because of the fragrance of it and everything. And I can't remember if he distributed it to the devotees or not, but he realized, he had received Radharani's mercy. She gave him that, and he was able to bring it back from the meditation, like that. So anyway, there's probably so many more stories of the different, very advanced devotees getting Radharani's mercy, but those were a few that I became aware of in my research there. So, I'm going to read a few more things here that okay, I'm going to read this one. This is a nice statement by Prabhupada where he talks about the relationship between Radharani, Krishna, and Lord Chaitanya. It's good to hear something like this on a day like today. So Prabhupada says, referring to Lord Chaitanya, he's playing the part of Radharani. He is worshipping Krishna as Radharani worshipped Krishna. There's a verse composed by Lord Chaitanya. He says, Asli Shiva Paravatam Panastumam Madarshanam Mamatam Karotava Yata Tata Babadhata Lampato Prananatas Tusaeva Naparaha. So he's praying, my Lord Krishna, either you trample me down by your feet, either you embrace me as lover, you make me brokenhearted without your presence, whatever you like you can do, but I am still your eternal servitor. So this attitude is Radharani's. So Lord Chaitanya is the feature of Krishna understanding Radharani. That Krishna is great undoubtedly, but he thinks that Radharani is greater than him because he cannot repay the loving transaction of Radha. So he wanted to study what is there in Radharani. This is Lord Chaitanya thinking. So I cannot study Krishna thinking. So I cannot study Radharani in my feature. If I take the feature of Radharani, then I can understand. So Prabhupada goes, that is the highest. I mean to say transcendental sentiments. Lord Chaitanya is Radharani's feature. Tadvayam chaityam aptam chaitanyakyam prakatam aduna tadvayam chaitam aptam. Krishna, when he wants to enjoy, he expands his pleasure potency, which is Radharani. Now one Krishna becomes two, Krishna and his pleasure potency. And that pleasure potency, when unites with Krishna, that is Chaitanya. Krishna becomes two, Radharani, and Krishna. Krishna cannot enjoy anything material because he is full in himself. Therefore, he has to enjoy something. Then that enjoyable personality must be expanded from him only. So that is Radharani. And when that enjoyable personality again takes into one, that is Chaitanya. So that's Prabhupada explaining the relationship between Radha, Krishna, and Lord Chaitanya. And here's another nice excerpt where Prabhupada says something about the attitude of the devotees in Vaikuntha, or in the spiritual world. And it talks about Radharani as well. So Prabhupada says, in the Vaikuntha world, there is comparative devotional service, just like Radharani and the gopis. Well, one thing that got me is, when I was reading this, I was saying, well, wait a second, but Radharani is not in Vaikuntha, she's in Goloka Vrindavan. But Goloka Vrindavan is a Vaikuntha planet. It's the supreme, it's the topmost Vaikuntha planet, because Vaikuntha means without anxiety. So all the spiritual planets are Vaikuntha planets, and of course Goloka Vrindavan is topmost. It's special. There's certain rasas that are going on in Goloka Vrindavan that aren't in Vaikuntha. So, but it is it's not incorrect. It's a Vaikuntha planet. So anyway, Prabhupada says, so just like Radharani and the gopis, they are on the same status, but the gopis know that Radharani is the better worshipper than us. Therefore, their only business is how to take Radharani and join with Krishna. That is Vaikuntha understanding. They are not envious that Krishna loves Radharani so much, and they are envious. No, not at all. They want it that Krishna loves Radharani so much, and Radharani loves, Prabhupada doesn't finish the sentence. They simply try to join them, and they are happy. Oh, Krishna and Radharani is now joined together. That is their happiness. And that's the happiness of all the residents there. That is Vaikuntha appreciation. So that was a nice one. And okay, this next one is very nice because it gives us a little insight into the intimacy, or the confidentiality of the pastimes between Radha and Krishna, and just in general those higher rasas that are only present in Goloka Vrindavan. So this is Prabhupada speaking. He says, so they are not ordinary. We should not think like that. The Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhava. That is Krishna's expansion of pleasure potency. Krishna wants to be controlled by Yasoda Mai. Krishna wants to be defeated by his friends. Krishna wants to be refused Radharani's darshan. Yes, Radharani is angry. She has refused. She has ordered the Shakis, don't allow Krishna to come here. Yes, Krishna is flattering. And Prabhupada laughs. Kindly let me go. No, sir, you cannot go. This is Krishna, you see. But at the same time, Gopi Jana Ballabha, Krishna is, that is Krishna's actual life. He is Gopi Jana Ballabha. He is Radha Madhava. He is Giri Badadhari. As soon as the gopis and the cowherd boys in distress, he will uplift this hill, Govardhan. That is Krishna's life. Anyway, it goes on. But yeah, some idea is there that, it's such an amazing relationship that Krishna is wanting, he's wanting that kind of a exchange with Radharani. And this is something that's a little bit more basic here. This is, I believe, from the Nectar of Devotion. Prabhupada says, he quotes, Rupa Goswami has stated that devotional service attracts even Krishna. Krishna attracts everyone, but devotional service attracts Krishna. The symbol of devotional service in the highest degree is Radharani. Krishna is called Madan Mohan, which means that he is so attractive that he can defeat the attraction of thousands of cupids. But Radharani is still more attractive. She can even attract Krishna. Therefore, devotees call her, somebody who's been a devotee 5 years or less. You've been a devotee 5 years or less? You're very humble. I know. You're very humble. Any 5 years or less devotees? No? what that is? But Radharani is still more attractive. She can even attract Krishna. Therefore, devotees call her, Madan Mohan Mohini, the attractor of Cupid. To perform devotional service means to follow in the footsteps of Radharani. Radharani. Okay. Yeah, this next one's interesting. I forgot what my comment was going to be on this. Okay, okay. This is a nice one. So this is talking about, well, I'll just read it. Krishna is above everything, no rules and regulations. He cannot do anything wrong. He is not under the jurisdiction of any law. Therefore, Krishna manifested the full power of the Supreme Lord. And other incarnations, although they came for the time being to perform a certain particular purpose, but they did not manifest the full power of God. Therefore, Krishna is the Supreme God. Krishna is tu Bhagavan Swayam. It is confirmed in the Srimad Bhagavatam that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original personality of Godhead. He is nobody's under control, not under anybody's control. Even he was not controlled by his supreme lover, Radharani. Krishna is considered, the gopis are considered the topmost lover of Krishna. But when Krishna decided to leave Vrindavan, they began to cry. They blocked the way. Krishna didn't care. Went away. He didn't care even. So much dear Radharani. They became blind, crying, whole life. But Krishna never returned. He sent his message, he sent his letter that I am very sorry, but Prabhupada says that is God. He is not controlled by anything. That is Krishna. Krishna's tu Bhagavan Swayam. So, superficially it sounds like Krishna's very hard-hearted, right? I mean, he's all these people, they love him so much that they practically can't live without him. And when he leaves, they spend the rest of their life crying. So, how do we understand this? Well, I don't claim to really understand it, certainly not on a experiential level. But one point I'd like to make on this is, sometime in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the author Krishnas Kaviraj Goswami, at one place, I don't remember the Sanskrit, he talks about how this happiness and distress in the material world, it's all just monodharma. It's just like, it doesn't make any difference, happiness and distress. And so what does that mean? I mean, I'd much rather be happy than distressed. This is how I understand it, and this is how I understand one aspect of understanding these types of pastimes. That, say somebody's asleep, okay? And they're having a really horrible nightmare. And then they wake up. Probably, we've all experienced this. Or you're asleep and you're having a really wonderful dream and you wake up. I know myself, as soon as I wake up, I just don't bother. If it was a nightmare, I just think, so what? And I just, shrug it off and I get on with paying attention to what's happening, being awake. And if it was even if it was a really good dream, same thing. I just, that was just a dream. Nice, but that was just a dream, and I pay attention to what's going on. In other words, that it's not like you don't experience anything. It's an experience, but it's an inferior quality to being awake. Generally speaking, what you're experiencing when you're dreaming, when you're asleep, is of an inferior quality of experience to being awake. So in the same way, from the perspective, from the standpoint of an advanced, elevated transcendentalist, all the happiness and distress of this material world is just like that. When you're awake, there's that verse in the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Yanisha Sarva Bhutanam, can't remember the rest of the Sanskrit, but what is the time of awakening for the, what is night for all beings is the time of awakening for the self-realized sage, etc., etc. So it's that idea that when you awake to transcendental knowledge, when you actually awake to Krishna consciousness, the happiness and distress of this material world are no different than what the happiness and distress we experience in a dream are to us. You see? So anyway, it's all transcendental bliss, even though it sounds like, Krishna made these people very unhappy. these devotees very unhappy. No, this is another form of transcendental bliss. Vipralamba Seva. It's, like best understood like that. So another nice thing, we actually have Srimati Radharani to thank for Rath Yatra, because the story behind that is this. Prabhupada, on one Rath Yatra festival, he made this, he told this little story here. I'll read it very quick. This festival is coming down since 5,000 years, when Lord Krishna, along with his elder brother Balaram and younger sister Subhadra, all together in a chariot, came from Dwarka to Kurukshetra. Kurukshetra is still existing, and Dwarka, the city, is also still existing. So according to Vedic culture, when there is an eclipse, lunar eclipse, people take bath in sacred rivers. So especially they tried to go to Kurukshetra, a pilgrimage. So Krishna, along with his family members, brother and sister, came to Kurukshetra, and receiving this news, the gopis and the inhabitants of Vrindavan, where Lord Krishna lived in his childhood, they came to see him. Amongst the gopis, Srimati Radharani was the chief. And when she saw Krishna in Kurukshetra in all opulence, she said, "My dear Krishna, you are also here, and I am also here. But we are missing Vrindavan. So I wish that you come along with me again in Vrindavan, and we enjoy in the forest of Vrindavan." So Prabhupada explains elsewhere, elaborating upon that point, that's the basic sentiment behind Rath Yatra. It's Radharani trying to bring Krishna back to Vrindavan. So in one sense, we have Radharani to be thankful for the whole Rath Yatra celebration or festival, because it's Radharani tried to bring Krishna back to Vrindavan. I think it was a beautiful verse composed by Madhavendra Puri about that, and then Rupa Goswami, it was some pastime in the Chaitanya Charitamrita where this same point was appreciated by both Madhavendra Puri and later on by Rupa Goswami. And this last excerpt is from an excerpt from a lecture Prabhupada gave on Radhastami. Forget, I didn't make a note of what year, what place, but I'll read it. Prabhupada says, "Therefore in Vrindavan you will see all devotees, they will address one another, Jai Radhe, still, because they know that if Radharani is pleased, if I can please Radharani," and then trails off, Radharani is presented, the original pleasure potency, always absorbed in thought of Krishna. So anyone who comes before Radharani to serve Krishna, oh, she becomes so pleased. Oh, here is a devotee of Krishna. She immediately recommends, Krishna, here is a devotee. He is better than me. This is Radharani. I may not be a devotee. I may be the most fallen rascal. But if I try to reach Krishna through Radharani, then my business is successful. Therefore, we should worship Radharani first. That is our business. Instead of offering directly one flower to Krishna, you just put it in the hands of Radharani. My mother, Radharani, Jagan Mata, if you kindly take this flower and offer it to Krishna. Radharani says, "Oh, you have brought a flower?" Krishna said, "Patram pushpam palam toyam yome bhakta prayachati." But don't try to offer Krishna directly. Just offer through Radharani. It will be very much appreciated by Radharani. Then Prabhupada concludes, he says, so this is our philosophy, to please Krishna through Radharani. And today is the auspicious day of Radharani appearances day. So we should offer Pushpanjali and pray to Radharani that Radharani kindly be merciful and tell about me to your Krishna. To your Krishna. Krishna is yours. Prabhupada speaking now. Krishna, Radha Krishna. Krishna is not independent. Krishna is Radharani's property. So you have to approach Krishna through Radharani. That is today. Today is the auspicious day. Worship Radharani very nicely and be happy. So, Jai. So, anybody have any questions or anything they want to add to that? Well, I just look through and see if I have any last little bits of nectar I can share with everybody. Here's something for the GBC to consider. This is Prabhupada's saying. He says, so he takes pleasure when his devotee's name is there. Just like we say, Radha Krishna, Radha Krishna. So Radha's name is first. Why? Nobody can be better devotee than Radharani. So as soon as Radha's name is there, Krishna is more pleased. So that is the way. So if we glorify the devotees, the character of the devotees before the Lord, he's more pleased than to glorify himself directly. So Prabhupada said that. So just add something to the controversy about whether it's okay to chant Radharani's name or Prabhupada's name, but Prabhupada's making this statement here. But then again, just the other morning we heard Gauri Das Pandit and the Prabhupada memories he was saying when Prabhupada heard him chanting Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, and Prabhupada said, "What is that?" And they told him, Prabhupada said, "I do not tell him to chant Hare Krishna." So anyway, it's something that needs to kind of be researched and discussed, I suppose. But anyway, Prabhupada did make that statement there. Sorry? Maybe, I don't know. Okay, here's two more just short excerpts, and then I guess that'll be it. So Prabhupada's talking about the quality of Radharani's love for Krishna. So he says, love means I enjoy or not enjoy. I love you. That is love. He quoted a poet, Cowper, in England. He says, England, with all thy faults, I love thee. So Prabhupada says, that is love. There is no return. Just like Radharani's love for Krishna. She does not require or expect anything in return, you see. Krishna left Vrindavan, Radharani, and their whole life remained simply crying for Krishna. Krishna never returned, but still, they love Krishna. That is love. So that unconditional. Just even if Krishna has no reciprocation, Radharani is, loving Krishna still. And then I guess this will be the last one. Prabhupada says, Krishna is Ajita. Nobody can conquer him. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, text 7, Matak Paritanam Nanyat, that verse, nobody is greater. Not that Krishna is shorter, at least in this respect. He is shorter in one respect. So this is Prabhupada's very charming way of putting it. He could repay the obligation. He could not repay the obligation he received from the gopis. He was always shorter to the gopis. That is his grace. He said that I cannot repay you. It is impossible. Please be satisfied with your own service. That is gopis. So he was always shorter, always. Especially before Radharani, he felt himself shorter. So, okay, so anybody like to say anything about Radharani? Maybe a gross omission or otherwise? Okay, well, I guess that's it then. Thank you very much. Srimati Radharani Ki Jai. You think that's a valid point? Because that's the mood, right? Founder of Rath Yatra, yeah. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, if you okay, we can try our best. Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan Shri Govinda Gopinatha Madana Mohan Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Kalindiya Muna Jaya Jaya Mahavan Kalindiya Muna Jaya Jaya Mahavan Keshibatam Shibatam Dvadashakanam Jana Sabalila Kailam Shrinandanandam Shrinanda Jashada Jayam Jaya Gopagam Shri Raji Jaya Jayam Tenu Vatsavam Shri Damadi Jaya Jayam Tenu Vatsagam Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Vrishabhana Jaya Jaya Kirtidasundari Jaya Purnamasi Jaya Adira Nagari Jaya Jaya Gopishvara Vrindavanama Jaya Jaya Krishna Saka Batu Dvijaraj Jaya Jaya Krishna Saka Batu Dvijaraj Jaya Rama Gata Jaya Rohini Nandan Jaya Jaya Vrindavana Basi Jatajan Jaya Dvijapati Jaya Naga Kanyagan Bhakti Teja Hara Pailam Govinda Charan Bhakti Teja Hara Pailam Govinda Charan Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Shira Samandala Jaya, Jaya Radhashyam, Jaya Jaya Rasalila Sarvamanaram, Jaya Jaya Jvala Rasa Sarvarasasar, Parakiya Bhave Jaya Bhajete Prachar, Parakiya Bhave Jaya Bhajete Prachar, Jijanava Pada Padma Korea Smaran, Dina Krishna Dasa Kahe Nama Sankirtan, Shri Janava Pada Padma Korea Smaran, Dina Krishna Dasa Kahe Nama Sankirtan, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Devara Pranathanathe, Jaya Devara Pranathanathe. Jaya Devara Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Radha Madhava.